Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of Draft to Glory Goon Squad. One of the final few times, of course, that I'm going to be able to say that, as we are ready in this episode to sim through our penultimate season, our second to last season. At most, depending on how this plays out, I'd say at most we have 5 episodes left in total. Today, if we have a playoff run, I might save the draft in the offseason for a next episode. We'd have that episode, so that would be 2. We would then have the final season sim. Playoffs could be a factor. Then you factor in the Hall of Fame nominations, the Hall of Fame voting. We are very close to the end of this series, and this is more than likely going to be one of the last marathon episodes. I'm thinking we have 2, maybe 3 marathon episodes left. Point being, as I've continued to mention, we are very close to the end of this series. We are rapidly running out of time in our efforts and our hopes to make it back to the postseason. Just in general, obviously, some last season success would be nice, but right now, the goal above all else is just to make it back to the playoffs. Whether or not we're able to do that, I'm not entirely sure, and I've talked about that quite a bit as well, where for quite a few seasons now, if not the past decade in this series, I haven't been able to really kind of guess how well this team is going to do. Of course, we've had seasons where we expected to be terrible. We nearly made the playoffs. We've had seasons where we expected to be good. We were awful. Ended up winning the division title anyway. So it's been a mystery and really kind of pointless throughout the course of this series to assume or guess how we're going to do. But I do view this season, this was the season where I absolutely wanted to make it back to the playoffs. I'm all right, though, at this point in time, with this being another series or another season, where we can view it as a progression season. We have quite a few young players, both, of course, at the NHL and AHL level, particularly in the AHL, with our 2 goalies, Frazee and Grigorenko. This is a big year for them. Of course, Tom Brooks is currently our starter now at an 82 overall. I believe Brodin is the 78, so it might be his last year. It might be Freddie's last year, too. Of course, that is a factor. There's so much going on right now with this team, but if this isn't our year, you would like to think with the younger players that we have in this organization right now, that next year we would at least see a return to the postseason, but there's no guarantee. You kind of would have liked to have seen that last year, maybe even the year before that. Of course, we got so close to making the postseason when we arguably shouldn't have, and since then it's been pretty disappointing. Right now, though, as we enter the month of January, 22-20-1, the San Diego Gulls aren't looking so good, which is a little bit disappointing. On the offensive side of things, they're certainly not the strongest that they've ever been. Defensively, the potentials are there, but the overalls aren't quite there. And then, of course, you have our 2 young goaltenders. So I'd really love to see San Diego make the playoffs this year. If that doesn't happen, I'll be a little bit upset. I'll be honest. I'll be a little bit upset. Again, when you look back to the original Draft to Glory series for NHL 17, and again, if you haven't watched that, now would be a good time, especially with this series coming to a close. I don't know if we'll run another Draft to Glory this year. We might wait until NHL 19. We'll have to wait and see particularly what happens over the summer, as of course NHL, the hype around NHL 18, a lot of people are like, oh, what are you talking about if it dies down? It's already died down, but particularly, in the summer, I think a series like this, again, it's when I ran it originally, it went very well. I think it makes it a bit more approachable to watch a Draft to Glory during the summer, especially if you're still in school, because you have that little bit of extra time. That said, I don't know if we'll run another Draft to Glory this year, so check out the original series, and you'll see what I've been referencing throughout this Goon Squad series. Of course, I've mentioned the original run quite a few times, but particularly with the AHL success and the lack thereof, or maybe, I don't know, how much success did we have in that original series? If you watched it, you knew. But certainly, in this run with Goon Squad, we have had no AHL success. Have we made it out of the second round? I don't believe we have. I'm pretty sure we're the Washington Capitals of the AHL, which, I mean, is that really saying much? Because look at the talent level we've had on that team in the past. They have had some good players, low to high 70s pretty much throughout, but they still weren't able to find that success. If you haven't noticed, I'm trying to not point out the current situation with the Anaheim Ducks, because there might be something here, although that loss could have just hurt us. We have 2 games left this year. The Gulls actually had battled back up to 42 wins, so go figure. Both teams are in an interesting spot. I feel like the lack of overtime losses, that's going to hurt us here, but let's take a look at the standings. Oh my god, we're right there. Oh god, we're right there. And I was right, that Coyotes loss really hurts us. We'd be on 86 points and we'd be in the playoffs. We have 2 games left. There's only 1 wild card spot in this division right now. We have to play the Sharks, who are in the postseason as it stands. This is interesting. Let's see. So in the Central, the other wild card team has 95 points. So we're not getting there. We're in a race with Vancouver, and they have a game at hand. 14 overtime losses. We have 6 more regulation wins. 6 more wins in general. 5 more regulation plus overtime wins. I was right. The overtime losses are killing us here. Oh, we are getting Gary Bettman right now. How I wish it was NBA and MLB style, just wins and losses, football as well. Oh, damn. All right. All right, we have to win. And Calgary as well, they have a game at hand and they're only a point back. I think that loss to Arizona is really going to be the difference maker. Let's see what happens though. Again, it's coming down to the last few games of the season. And right now, the overtime losses have been the difference maker. We play San Jose and we play Vancouver. 2 teams that might potentially be playoff bound. So we'll treat these as playoff games because they might as well be. We have to win if we have any chance of making it, and that starts against a longtime rival in the form of the San Jose Sharks. They will forever be linked with us in this series. Freddie McDonough on the ice against the Sharks one more time. Could it be for the last time? First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Geispers and McDonough. Yes, Freddie. Yes, there we go. Freddie McDonough making the Sharks pay for it one more time. We have a 2-0 lead. Only 15 shots in our favor, 12 for them. It's been a pretty low output game as far as offense goes. I could have phrased that better. Early power play here for the Sharks is killed off. We have 7 minutes to go. Can we hold on and set up this ridiculous game against Vancouver? Viveiros with the goal. 7 minutes remaining. Can Brooks shut the door and hold on here to keep our playoff chances alive? Yes, he can. It's a 2-1 win over the Sharks. Frederick McDonough, our fearless leader, our captain, with the game-winning goal. 25 saves from Tom Brooks, and our playoff hopes are still alive by a thread. It's gonna be close. It comes down to the last day of the season yet again, which I'm not really looking forward to. I'm gonna guess Vancouver has a game on the 7th or on the 8th. That'll be where their extra game comes in. But those 3 straight losses and losing 4 out of 5, I mean, really, yeah, just the end of March was devastating for us. We play the Vancouver Canucks. Let's take a look at the setup here. No, Vancouver's already played their game. Oh my god. So the Calgary Flames can only finish with a maximum of 87 points. Calgary is out. It comes down to this. Last day of the season, on home ice, win, and we are in. We would have to be off of tiebreaker, I can only assume. We have more regulation plus overtime wins. We have more wins outright, unless it goes off of losses, which I can never remember how that works. I'm fairly certain we have the tiebreaker on Vancouver. A few seasons ago, it came down to the last day of the season. We had to beat San Jose. We could not. This year, we have another chance. We have a second opportunity. A win on the last day of the season should see us make the playoffs. Can we get it done? That is the question. I'm going to start Brooks. He deserves it. Let's see what happens. Oh my God. Against Vancouver. Can we steal their spot? First period of game 82. And Vancouver gets the early lead. Chubarov with the goal, 11 shots each. All right, second period, and Fairchild tied it. Nystrom, though, with 19 seconds up, the backbreaker of a goal. We're out shooting them 23-18, but we are trailing 2-1 on the scoreboard. That sets up the final 20 minutes of regulation. Our season is on the line. Ian Geispers has tied it. Shattenkirk gets it right back, you fuck. 54 seconds later, halfway through the third period. Come on, guys. Somebody needs to step up here. Somebody has to step up. This might be our last chance. 1 and 47 to go. As you look at our ratings, you look at the Canucks ratings, the guy on Vancouver has a hell of a mustache. Did I hit CPU versus CPU game? I think I did. I'll just double check. Oh my God. It comes down to this. We have to win. The season, again, is on the line. It is win or go home. It all comes down to this, man. To be in this situation again. Oh, boy. Come on. Here we go. We have a chance. 2:03 to go. This last minute's going to go very quickly, though. We'll burn for Davidson. Quick shot, glove save by Brooks. He plays it out for Castonguay, who struggles, and Brooks is forced to cover. Castonguay, I'm not really your biggest fan right now, I got to admit. I feel like you've dragged down Freddie quite a bit. We need a big performance from you. Top line against top line. Pandolfo, Castles, and Wild are out there. Castles wins the draw. Freddie McDonough. Will this be his last game? Castles for Wild across the blue line. Quick puck drag. Wild takes the shot. Save by Jelena. 55.1 to go. We need a goal. Clinton Likens is top in the league in penalty minutes. Crest was up there too. And Jonas Wharton. Plenty of old names. Not too bad. Top lines are still out there. Can Castles win another draw? Yes, he can. For McDonough. Pandolfo back for Freddie. Quick shot. It's in the air and just wide of the post. Wild battling for it. He kicks it out. Haynes recovers for Vancouver. It's Shattenkirk over the red line with 40 seconds to go. Quick move for O'Byrne. It's broken up. Wilcox able to get it back for McDonough. Puck broken up. Pandolfo recovers. 32 to go. Wild with Anaheim pulling the goalie. Harold Wild looking for space. Loses the puck. Vancouver recovers. It's Bannister. He turns it over. 3-on-1 coverage. Wild recovers. He gets it over for Logan Pratt. 18 to go for the Anaheim Ducks. Pratt's feed in front is broken up around the back. Pratt looking for it. The stick lift. And Jelena with the diving effort to freeze the puck with 10.7 to go. Second line's out. Tambellini, Pratt, and Walls. Here we go. Can Pratt win the draw? It's tied up. Raymond breaking out for Vancouver. 6 seconds to go. Raymond takes the shot. And the Vancouver Canucks will make it to the playoffs. The Goon squad falls just short yet again in what could prove to be the last game in both the history of Marcus Brodin and Frederick McDonough's careers. I wonder if I should have started Brodin. Reed Raymond ends it. We put up a fight. It came down once again to the last game of the season. The Vancouver Canucks walk away with the victory. They end our season And now more questions remain. What will this team look like heading into our last season? That's what it comes down to. As we'll just quit out here. We don't need to see the rest of this. I'd laugh if it glitched out and gave us the win. What will this team look like heading into our last season? We have one more draft where we don't have a ton of selections. We know we're getting a lottery pick, however. 4-2 loss at state final. Will we see Marcus Brodin and Frederick McDonough retire? What kind of progression will we get? How will we do in our final draft? Oh, man. We would have made it. That's all we needed. It would have been a three-way tie at 88 points, and we would have made it on tiebreaker, I'm fairly certain. Instead, we stay home. 42, 38, and 2. I said I had a feeling that the overtime losses would be the difference maker, and indeed they were. A heartbreaking way to have our season end. As in terms of goal scoring, I think we were about mid-table. We were a little bit further up, 227. Our goals against per game average was higher up there. Goaltending and defense, just not what it used to be. Our power play at 16.8% was one of the worst in the league, bottom 10. And our penalty kill, our power play was one of the worst. Our penalty kill at 81.5 was mid-table. That is so devastating to have us miss out on the last day of the season again. And the Nashville curse continues. Tyler Castles led this team in points with 56. Ian Geispers with 52. Harold Wild with 51. Pandolfo. You have Tambellini, as I'll scroll through here and you guys can get a look at the point totals for this year. In terms of plus minus as well, we only had 4 players who were positives. Del Monte was an even. Everyone else on the team was a minus player. Looking at the goaltending, Brodin, 20 appearances, a 9.14. Brooks with 65 appearances, a 9.27. So Brooks actually had a pretty damn decent season. I mean, the goaltending wasn't lights out, as we've seen it before, with a plus 930 or even a 940 save percentage. It was decent, though. And that's devastating to know. Is it the lack of goal scoring? Is the current defensive combinations with guys like Wilcox and Castonguay, is it just not good enough? Of course, we had the rookie defenseman in the lineup this year as well. One way or another, disappointing. The Gulls actually made the playoffs. I completely forgot to look. They did lose game 1, 3-2 in overtime. I will sim through the first round if they make it, which, let's be honest, they won't. I was going to say, if they make it past the first round, we'll take a look. But yet again, the Gulls have been swept in the first round, which I feel like I've had to say that quite a bit. I need to take a sip of Arnold Palmer here just to drown my sorrows. Oh my God. We have 1 year left. It comes down to that final season. Our hopes of making it back into the playoffs. Our hopes of winning more than 1 cup in this series. Again, it comes down to the final season, as we have fallen just short yet again. The New York Rangers win the Stanley Cup. The Rochester Amherst take the Calder. Let's take a look at the awards, at the player progression, and then we have a draft to get through, don't we? We have a draft to get through. So the awards, the Rangers win the Cup. Any familiar names here? I'm just kind of quickly scrolling through. That's not our Brodin. Afanasenkov wins another Masterton, though, which is pretty funny. And then down in the AHL, again, we have struggled for hardware throughout this entire season, or this entire series. In terms of getting hardware at the AHL level, that trend continues as the Rangers beat the Vegas Golden Knights. Arizona swept Vancouver in the first round. I'd like to think we would have put up a better fight than that, but who's to say? Who is to say? All right, player progression. we'll get the good news, hopefully, from the lottery. And then we collectively, or at least I collectively, hold my breath as, I collectively hold my breath. That doesn't make sense. We'll all collectively hold our breath and hope that we don't lose anyone to retirement. And here's the interesting thing. Tom Brooks, playing like an 89 overall. He was an 82 legit. He was playing like an 89. It has to be the team in front of him, right? It has to be. Fairchild playing like an 87. Unfortunately, I can't look at the... No, I can look at the stats from here. Okay, good. Yeah, he was a -5, so I don't really think he was the problem. Just so disappointing to have Brooks have an amazing performance like that throughout the course of the season and to still fall short. Geisper's is an 82, playing like an 86. Same with Wild, playing like an 85. Pandolfo's an 81, playing like an 85. Del Monte's an 82, playing like an 84. Freddie is down to a legit 84 at 39 years old, so he is basically Zdeno Chara, is what you're confirming. Tambellini, also an 84. Alos is playing better. Pratt's playing better. Again, at this point, I'm going to focus on the greens, because pretty much everyone was playing better than they actually were. David Ruedel, the rookie, only improved by 1 point throughout the course of the regular season. I would expect him to be a big off-season developer, as Marcus Brodin is a legit 74. I don't see how he survives this. I don't. I think we've seen the last of Marcus Brodin. Frazee is up to a 79, which is huge. Obviously, he'll be at the NHL level next year, one way or another. You have Tristan Bonks going up to a 78, Linden up to a 79. So we're going to see some fresh faces, more than likely, on this defense heading into next season. Sloan's up to a 76. Reefers regressed a little bit. Grigorenko, not much improvement. So I'm very glad that we drafted Frazee. That proved to be the right choice, as we're looking at more than likely a Frazee and Brooks combo. I couldn't remember his name for a second. I'm like, Brooks, Bonks, ba-ba-da. Winnick went up to a 72. Nemec went up a point, as did Keeping. Howard Schremp, the other goaltender we drafted, is up to a 72. Too little, too late. Perez up to a 66, not bad. Nicholas went up by 2. 5 points for Derek Clark. So I was right in that I thought this might be another progression-heavy season, but still, to have it end the way it did really does suck. And that leads to this. Of course, we have the draft lottery results first and foremost. Let's see where our destiny lies. Will we get lucky? Will we have a top 10, a top 5? We will not. We have the 10th overall selection. New Jersey, Edmonton, and Carolina are your top 3. So we do have a top 10 pick. And now, you know, to get a top 10 pick when you missed out on the postseason by a point, or however many it was, I think it was even on tiebreak. I don't even know how many points we finished with. I think it was 86. That's pretty solid. The question is, will Frederick McDonough and Marcus Brodin be a part of this organization heading in to our final season? Let's find out. And yes, McDonough will be. Tursunbayev and Reefers retires. Reefers had 246 NHL games and only 70 points. The question is Marcus Brodin still here? He is. McDonough and Brodin will be back for one more season. Nolan Foote, the only guy out of the 3 to not make it. That is incredible. Freddie will be here for one more season. Brodin, odds are, will pay him to stay at the AHL level. I feel like that's the best way to go. But that's insane. I'm glad Freddie will be here. Again, I wish Brodin could still be at NHL level, but more importantly, I'm glad that McDonough will be here. And of course, this year, there's a fucking power forward and a defensive D-man that both could have been extremely helpful. But what are you going to do? Outside of the top 10, though, I mean, we're going to have to look elsewhere here. I'll take Dalton. I would if I could guarantee his overall would be higher. Who are we even going to be looking at here, though, is the question. This power forward Walensky is probably our best bet. It's looking like that's going to be the case. So Donald Walensky might have to be our selection. So again, this is why I didn't make sure that we had extra selections for this draft, because I knew it was going to be so late into the series that it wouldn't have mattered. Smoskowitz would have been a great pickup last year. Witt also would have been a great pickup. So the draft luck certainly wasn't in our favor in the 2040 draft. 2041 draft, we're not really looking that great either, I have to admit. Let's see again. We have Wolinski. Who else do we have? We have Vanainen, Marco Vanainen on defense. We have Parrish, Lawrence Parrish, the power forward. Morrison, who is all the garbage, literally all of it. Another power forward, and Jared Whitmore. And that is that. So I could go off the board with Marco Vanainen. I'm not going to do so. I'm going to go for the power forward. I got a feeling this guy's going to be medium top 9. I think Donald Wolinski is going to be garbage. However, it's such an inconsequential draft for us, with this being our final season coming up. So unless we ended up with the top 5 pick, it wouldn't have mattered. Let's take Donald Wolinski. And I was right. He was medium top 9. He was hot garbage. We'll see if I missed out on someone who actually could have been a different... Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Our last draft, if I'm not mistaken. And medium elite. 62 overall. I had a feeling Vanainen was really good, but I'm like, oh, come on. The guy who's projected to be drafted, he'll be all right, right? Nope. I wanted to take a forward because I've been basically forced to take so many defensemen as of late, and that's the reason why. All these forwards have been garbage now for so many years. I mean, with the Vanainen pick, it's more just like, hey, you could have had a medium elite. He still wouldn't factor into it. We'd need a few more seasons before Vanainen would even press for an NHL spot. So I'm not too upset. And again, to be honest, this draft, it's just kind of like, what are you going to do? It's very inconsequential, but that's all right. We'll still take it seriously. We might as well. Let's not do anything too dumb. We'll treat it seriously. Let's see who is available here in the second round. I knew I should have gone for Vanainen, though. We have Thomas Arvidsson, 19-year-old power forward. He is the only forward of the bunch, so I'm going to go for him again. Arvidsson, please be half decent. And you're not too bad. Medium top 6, 61 overall. At 19, he still has time to get better. Nothing too crazy, though. Rathje was a very solid defenseman. 67 overall. How old is Rathje? 19. That's a very good pickup for them. Legault was awful. Josefson was decent. So another very good draft if you're taking defensemen. You could argue that we need more help on the offensive side of things. And of course, right now, with how the team is set up, and you look at the past couple of drafts, we've had to take so many defensemen over the past few years anyway, that even if we had an extra bit of time, it just makes more sense to try and strike gold here on a forward late in this draft at some point. I mean, I think that's what I'm going to keep doing, is just going after these forwards, unless we had like the guarantee of a goaltender like Dan Meach being a crazy good overall. So we have Rodney Claremont, and we have Lee Forrest. Let's go for Lee Forrest, because his name is Lee Forrest, and he's garbage. All right, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Again, I'm kind of determined here to end up with a half-decent forward. It's not going to happen. Jesus, that Thompson guy, what a steal for Chicago. 2 ways not eligible for us, or available for us anyway. My God, some of the steals in the second round here. How I wish they were available to us, but so far it's not the case. Van Allen wasn't that great anyway. Claremont also sucked. We had a defenseman named Rammer, who also sucked. So a couple of steals there in the second round, none of which we would have been able to select anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. What do we have here? We have Krejcik. I think it's... Is it Krejcik? There was a defenseman in the NHL named Lucas Krejcik that had this name. I never know how to pronounce it. Krejcik? I'm going with Krejcik. 17 years old, though. Let's be honest. Not going to be a good enough overall anyway. So is there a forward here that's available to us? I'm pretty much determined to only take forwards. Papineau and Knights both suck, as does Fleischmann. My God, this game does not want to give me any offensive help, does it? Absolutely nothing. We have Brassard here. Guy Brassard, 18 years old, low league interest, but, I mean, come on. Yeah, this is awful. No offensive help. We have this enforcer here in Mara. I'm almost thinking, do I just take the goddamn defenseman at this point? Yeah, this is not looking like a great... There's a T-Swift. Hold on. There's a T-Swift. Travis. Boo. Boo, Travis. Boo. Alright, back to the top then. Why not? We'll just select whoever we think is going to be half decent, which probably won't be Krachasek here. God, I don't know at this point. I don't know. We have Drew O'Byrne. Anybody else here? Sheldon Winchester. Neat. Any other defenders that are actually half decent? This entire draft is looking like hot garbage for us. Just absolute smoking, smoldering hot garbage. Like, goddamn. Zanetti and Leonov. We have Ackerstrom, Nicholas Ackerstrom. A complete unknown. Well, we'll take Junior Mara. Why not? Let's take the enforcer here because I don't fucking know otherwise. Medium top 6, 64 overall. Neat. We get another pick here coming up in what's looking like the worst goddamn draft I could have asked for. For a Draft to Glory series, we didn't get that lucky in terms of prospects eligible and available for us towards the end here. If we look at potential, do we have anything? No, we don't. It's all playmakers and players not available to us. So with that said, I mean, I feel like it's too early. You know what? No, let's see. Let's do the whole time scouted. Let's see who we have the accurate info on. Again, this goalie, Scavello, unless his overall was stupidly high, it wouldn't matter. Actually, to be honest, I'm going to check even the worst players here in terms of potential. I want to see if anyone just magically has a good overall that would actually make them useful to us. Kelvin Kovacs, solid name, but not useful to us. Harry Glass, solid name, but not useful. We have this enforcer in Dempsey. Clint Dempsey! Well, we got to take Captain America. All right, we have Ken Lupel, who is kind of half-decent-ish. I might take him for the hell of it. What about Lance Friesen? Not quite. Not quite. We have Bobilev, who's going to be bang average, unfortunately. What about Franzen? George Franzen? Nothing there. Power forward and Knights is also garbage. Yeah, this is really bad for us. There we go. Bryce Ebbett, 20 years old. He's the pick, no doubt. No league interest. Bryce Ebbett, I'm expecting him to be bang average. And he was slightly worse than that. Medium 7th. Bang average for a defenseman is normally medium top 6, mid to low, or mid to high 60s. So the 68 overall is nice, but he's medium 7th. So that's great. I don't even care to look back through the draft at who I could have had. Also, Backdraft is a great movie. But yeah, I don't care to look back and be like, oh, we could have had this guy and this guy. At this point, I don't care to know. We have been flat out disrespected by the game in terms of players that it left available for us in these last few entry drafts. So it is what it is. 84 stick checking for Paul Arsene. I didn't want to look at Eastwood. I wanted to look at McMillan. Again, I think he'll be kind of the bang average pick as well. Anybody else here? This power forward in Halak, not great. Who else do we have here? We have McLaren, who sucks. Damn, what about Ferraro? Nope. Reed? Also no. Vanainen, another Vanainen. Hey, you missed out on one earlier. You want to take one now? No, I don't. We have Sergei Ovechkin. The overall's not going to be great. We have Trevelyan. Nope. Nope. Von Fersen. Also a no. We have this Grinder and Alsner. Yeah, we're not getting any late round steals here, are we? Pera isn't that good. Anybody else here, please? In the 3 times scouted, we have Burn, Tiny Burn. Overall, isn't going to be that great. Oh, yeah, you really didn't help me out here, did you? You really didn't help me out here, did you? Who do we have? Oh boy, you know what? Let's take our scene. Hope the overall's half decent. 65. There's your bang average level player. I might as well just select whoever's projected to go next. I can't find a steal based off of who we have projected here, so let's see. First guy, here we go. Brassard, Guy Brassard, 18 years old, low league interest. Brassard, are you half decent? No, you're not. Oh boy. All right, so we have no extra help is what we're confirming here. Our roster is our roster based on the progression of certain players heading into this final season. I mean, we're just going to have to do the best with what we have. Zanetti, 20 years old, low league interest. Leonov is 19. Let's go for Zanetti, who is medium top 664. Not bad, but still not good enough to help us out anytime soon. Anytime soon. As we... Oh boy, as we just have to deal with all this hot garbage here, don't we? Ralph Book. Book. I'm gonna go with Book, and he sucks. So that's great. Let's just get through this at this point. It's kind of like the resign phase. Like, oh my god, just get through it as quickly as we possibly can. We have this enforcer here. Yves Latendresse. 6'7", 240. Good lord. He's a goddamn Yeti, and he sucks. Sounds unfortunate. Sorry, Eve. And let's see, this might be... Is this our final pick? I mean, by the way, the fact that our final first-round pick in the history of this draft goes down as a major L. We have 3 more picks. Or 2 more picks after this. We have 3, well, 3 because I haven't made this one yet. You get the point. 3 picks here in the 7th round. Let's take Lupul, the Grinder, who isn't bad. Low top 6, 67 overall. Not too bad for a Grinder. Bolduc would have been nice, but what are you going to do? And that leaves us these final 2 selections. We have Boudreaux. We have Helms. We have the Enforcer in Goddard. We have Alvara. We have Mallet. We have Smith. And well, I have to take Clint Dempsey has to be my final pick. So I'm going to go for Goddard here, I think. 6'5", 236, Jake Goddard, the 18-year-old enforcer from the Sarnia Sting. He's awful, but that's fine because we're taking enforcers with our final few picks. The last player, unless I'm mistaken and we magically have one more draft, which I don't think we do, the last player to ever be drafted by the Goon Squad will be Clint Dempsey from the Prince George Cougars by way of Texas. He's beautiful. He won't be appearing at the World Cup this year, but damn it, he's beautiful. What an awful draft. What an absolutely awful draft. And even looking back at the players we could have had instead, aside from the mistake in the first round, I mean, there was no help there to be found. Absolutely no help to be found. Our team is our team, and we have to make the most of it. So let's see. To contracts we go. The re-sign phase is underway. We will prep this team for our final season. We have all the money in the world to spend. Goaltenders Brooks and Brodin need to be re-signed. The fact that Brooks is still kicking up there at an 89 is unreal. But way to go, Tom. I'm glad I made the right choice. I wonder if I were to play Brodin if he'd shoot back up to like a 90. But then again, I can't because of auto-rotate. Maybe Brodin can lead the Gulls to victory. He'll be the tandem with Grigorenko. I don't think we'll play Schremp. And again, I know some people are going to want me for this final season to just trade like all of my draft picks, like just make this team as good as possible. You know, Freddie wants a 3-year deal, whatever. I know people are going to be like, oh, trade all your draft picks, trade that extra goalie, that extra medium elite you have, just make this team good. I don't like doing that. I find that to be anticlimactic, and I think it's going to be a lot more interesting for this final season. I just realized we might actually get into a little bit of cap trouble here just because of the amount of money some of these guys are looking for. I know we have almost $90 million in cap space, but some of these contracts are garbage. Oh my god. You know what? Oh god, then again, half these guys don't even want to stay in their UFAs. You know what? Screw it. Let's see what happens. Can you imagine if I lose somebody here because of the salary? It could happen. But again, I think it's going to be much more interesting to just keep the team that we have, keep the status quo, don't do anything drastic, and just see if the team that we're able to put out there is good enough to get the job done. As I'll leave the last three guys, the last three RFAs, as unsigned, just because I have a feeling with the money that some of these guys are asking for, we might actually end up, I mean, I don't know, what, near like 20 million? I'm not even sure. And that's not to mention if they reject and want even more money. So I was like, Climber rejected. I see a couple other rejecteds as I'm just going to spam the button there and get through. So let's see, how much cap space do we have left? We have 63 million. Okay, so we're going to be fine, I guess. Let's take a look here at all expiring. Actually, no, let's just go to goaltenders. So goaltenders are set. Wilcox and McDonough both rejected, huh? Let's go 1 year at 9.5 for Wilcox. So he's going to be untradeable, basically. Freddie, let's go 1 year at 8 mil. For good old McDonough, our captain who has hung around for the last season. Right wings, we are good. Left wings, Pandolfo. He wants term, and you know what? We really don't have to care. So let's go 8 years at 7.5. We don't have to care about the monetary situation. We'll let whatever GM takes over after us try to dig himself out of this mess, because we don't have to worry about it. We know if we were to treat it seriously that we could keep that GM in a somewhat decent spot, but I don't really care. Let's put Climber at 1.375, and with that, we just have the centers to take care of. Same thing with Sanderson. We'll offer him a little bit more. Rogers, we'll try to sign him. McChesney and Del Monte. There we go. Let's see, as I need to fully, I mean, God, people joke about it on Twitch. I need to really blow my nose right about now. So let's hit Advanced Day. And from here, we'll use the magic of a lovely, wonderful jump cut. All right, we're good. I can breathe. All is well in the world. Let's see what happened here, as we have a couple of rejections, but of course we don't really have to worry about that. We still got all the money in the world. We've managed the cap relatively well, and of course we have so many players who aren't going to be asking for that much, and then it makes sense. So all expiring. Wilcox is being a slight pain. I did not mean to do that. I don't want to offer him the max deal. Let's drop that down to 1. And, I mean, I guess we're going to be a little bit ridiculous and go up to 1 year, 10 million for Wilcox. We still have 50 million left. Freddie, congrats, buddy. You just won the lottery again. As if Nolan Foote wasn't on the receiving end of one of these contracts on so many occasions. You will get the $20 million, or roughly the $20 million contract. Again, I wish I could just offer him the max, but as I've mentioned before, the game glitches out and can't register those higher contracts. It essentially resets the value and basically views it. The player views it as you lowballing them and offering them basically nothing. So it's kind of interesting. And then Alos, didn't mean to do that either. We'll offer Alos like 6 mil, I guess. Why not? This team is going to be in such a bad way, but of course we set it up this way because who really cares? It's that final season coming up that we have to worry about. If we don't get any value back in trading away some of these players, doesn't really matter because we don't have the draft picks that we have to worry about anyway. So it all works out. My only issue is that I keep hitting the wrong button or hitting the one button too many times. I just want to advance day. Accepted. Someone still rejected. Who the fuck was that just rejected? That must have been Wilcox, right? I can only guess that it was Wilcox. This guy is being a grade A douche. My God. All right, yeah, because Freddie re-signed to contracts, and hopefully I can stop hitting all of the wrong buttons. Let's see. What are we dealing with here? We got 22 million. Yeah, it was Wilcox. All right, well, Wilcox, you know what happens? You know what happens when you reject $10 million? You get 20. Congratulations. You don't deserve it at all. But guess what? You're going to be on the team this year. And I'm thinking for this team as well, we might not really worry about the morale system. You know, if we have multiple people who are top 4 defensemen, we're just going to go for it. Who cares? The team is good to go. So yeah, I bet it was an easy decision, Wilcox. I bet it was. Way to go, buddy. You really went out on a limb. You really sacrificed to stay here with this team. I would have let you walk to free agency any other time, aside from in this series, in this scenario. So here we go. To the start of the preseason, we will take a look and get the final team set up. I don't know what to expect here. I have hopes that we might just somehow be able... I mean, can we just get back into the playoffs, right? I don't want this series to end on a whimper. Give us some postseason drama rather than Game 82 drama, which ends up just being heartbreaking, you know? Let's have this be the year that we need it to be. It needs to happen. So let's take a look as this finishes up. But again, I took a look. I don't know. I don't even know what I meant by it. I took a look. I'm just misspeaking. I'm trying to fill the dead air and the dead space as this is taking so long to load, damn it. Here we go. Let's do this. For the final time, we will prepare this team. We are listed as contenders, which I feel like is a lie. So let's see. We have Brooks, Frazee, Grigorenko, and Brodin's a 72. Oh my god. Well, we could sign Schremp. I mean, I did well in terms of drafting medium elite goalies towards the end. Brooks is our guy. And let me know. I mean, we have to keep Brodin. I mean, I could keep Brodin, but just not play him? I mean, let me know what you think as far as goaltending goes. Should we sign Schremp? Again, I'm not going to trade him for, like, this elite goaltender. Then let's see here. That's 12 right there. So we don't have any extra defensemen signed. And again, we don't really have anybody that we need to sign because all of the guys we just drafted are hot garbage. So I'm just going to trade them away, free up some of the clutter from when we are looking at this team. We'll go with the 7th round pick for Arizona, or from Arizona. Again, on goaltending, we might move somebody. Bouk and Goddard can stay, or they can go, I should say. And then forward-wise, that's our top 12. So from McChesney down, that's the next 12. So Lupul might be worth signing. An American option. I mean, he is a higher overall. We'd have to get rid of Nicholas, though. So, you know what? I'm thinking we'll just leave him unsigned. I'll save these other two guys, too, Clark and Arvidsson. But the other guys here, they can go. So our team is basically set as it is. It's just now a matter of sorting out the lineup. So there we go. We'll just continue to clear out some of the excess that we do not need. And actually, we'll just scroll down here to Yves Latendresse, as we will trade him for a 7th round pick in 2043, a year that we will not see because this series ends before then, of course. So let's take a look at the roster moves. What do we got? So goaltenders, it's Brooks and Frazee. Grigorenko actually improved very well. He made a decent amount of progression. We have Linden and Bonks. Somebody has to be sent down. I'm not sure who it's going to be. Both apps. I mean, Tristan Bonks is better offensively. They both have terrible offensive awareness. So one's a better offensive option with Bonks. Linden is the better defensive option. We have Ruedel, Castonguay. I almost wouldn't be against trading fucking Fairchild and Castonguay. I feel like these guys have been absolutely awful for us. Castonguay was a great steal, though. Both of them were. in fairness. I think I'm going to send down Bonks for the moment. We'll give Linden the chance. Obviously, we could change that mid-season if we wanted to. And then on the offensive side of things, Orpik gets sent down. We have Shing, Orpik, Henridius is there, so it's just whether or not we want Boss to play, which normally Boss would probably stay, and we'd get rid of an extra third liner. That is not going to be the case. For now, we're going to send down Brian Boss. He'll be in the AHL this year. Let's go to edit lines. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with here. What is this lineup shaping up to be? How did Pandolfo do last year? Kind of a return to form. I'm thinking Geispers, Wild, and Castles. We have Pandolfo with Tambellini and Pratt. Alos, Delmonte, Schumacher. I mean, we'll change up the combinations, but we have all greens. The lowest overall guy as far as forwards are concerned is the 81 McChesney. And on defense, we have a pretty good setup as well. All greens moving into our final season. Tom Brooks is a monster right now because of the morale system. I mean, if you want to talk about any of our teams over the past few seasons that have had a chance to find postseason success, this is the squad to do it. Again, whether or not we have Marcus Brodin actually play or just sit there and get paid, that's up to you guys. Again, he can't be the starter because of auto-rotate. And then when it comes to the AHL defense, we're already good to go. We don't have to worry about potential, so we'll just stay with best lines. We'll take out Mironov for Pera, and actually, you know what? We'll take him out for Nicholas, and I'll see where the other guy is that has to be taken out. It's Semenov, so we'll take him out for Pera, and again, we'll just go for the best overall team. So I'll optimize that the way I can, but these are the players involved at the AHL level for our final seasons again, or our final season again. The question is though, what do we do with Marcus Brodin? And at the NHL level, it's looking as good as it has for the longest time. It's just the question is, in Freddie's last season, the last season in this series in general, again, unless I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. I don't know. The only reason I'm talking like that is because the last time we did Draft to Glory, I was streaming the final few episodes, and I thought we had one more season to go, and it turned out that was our last year. I know this is our last season. I don't want it to be, in a way. The teams are set, though. We are good to go for our last hurrah. The question is, after a somewhat disappointing episode, can we bounce back? Can we find success? We have one more episode to go. Then the next two after that will be the Hall of Fame. Actually, yeah, the next two after that will be the Hall of Fame voting. So next episode, again, I'm saying it now, next episode, at the end, I'll ask you guys to I'll ask you guys at the end of next episode to leave down in the comments your nominations for the Hall of Fame. There will be the voting video and then the results video. So we have 3 episodes left, but only one more season to sim. Guys, I hope you did enjoy. Disappointing for our penultimate season, but there is that chance that maybe there could be some final season magic for the Goon Squad. I thank you for your support with this series. I hope you guys are looking forward, in a bittersweet way, looking forward to the finale of this series in the next episode. Again, fingers crossed, we end it on a high note. I thank you for watching. Have a good one, guys. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.